Well, if you were waiting for Za'Darius Smith to return to the Detroit Lions like most of us were or hoping, you might as well change that hope because it looks like that Za'Darius Smith will not be returning to the Detroit Lions. Now, it is too early to tell, but according to Brad Holmes, there has been no recent dialogue with Za'Darius Smith. Here's what he had to say. This is coming from Detroit Sports Podcast. When Brad Holmes was asked directly about Za'Darius Smith, he said that there was no recent talks. Now, I have been on record in saying that I hope Za'Darius Smith fleeces the Detroit Lions for all he can. I hope that he gets exactly what he wants because we traded for him. He was under contract and we decided to cut him. I'll say it again. We traded for him. He was under contract, but we decided to cut him. In a world where you are trying to win a Super Bowl, you don't chintz on players. You don't chintz on players. There's no argument that makes sense when you talk about why Za'Darius Smith was cut. Because if you look at, well, he costs too much money. Players who are productive cost money. Our team is going to be $21 million as of right now over the salary cap next year. Why? Because we have good players. You think it's bad now? Wait until about 2 years from now, when Jahmyr Gibbs will be the highest paid running back in the league, where Jameson Williams may or may not get an extension. The Detroit Lions have to make a decision on Brian Branch. Oh, yeah, Brian Branch. And we saw what the safety market is becoming. Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell. The list goes on and on. They still haven't done a deal with Aiden Hutchinson. So you think that this is going to get easier for this team? And that's why I was saying when Trey Hendrickson was available to make him a priority. Because this is the year, this is the kitchen sink year for the Detroit Lions. But Za'Darius Smith, we traded for him. He was under contract, and we cut him. And we cut him in favor of a man who has never played a complete season. Za'Darius Smith, an older gentleman. Marcus Davenport is under 30. Za'Darius is over 30. And Za'Darius is coming off 2 full seasons, all 17 games. Could have played 18 if the Detroit Lions let him. But we cut him in favor of Marcus, I can't play a full season, Davenport. Let's do a little comparison, shall we? Let's go to ESPN. Let's take a look at the stats. Marcus Davenport, 6'6", 285, 28 years old. The pick number 14 in the first round. Just for reference, he was actually picked before Lamar Jackson. And I can't stand Lamar Jackson, but he was picked before Lamar Jackson. You guys know how I feel about that. If we look at what he did last year, he got hurt. Had 1 tackle and half a sack. That's what he got. Well, Derek, he was hurt, right? I want to show you something that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Let's go, and we're going to look at his stats. Drafted by the New Orleans Saints. Actually played with under Dan Campbell when Dan Campbell was there. Not under him directly, but Dan Campbell was part of the organization. That's probably what made him appealing. And I want you to notice something. Look at his career. So the most games he's ever played in a season was 15. And ironically, that was the worst season of his career as far as getting to the quarterback. Now, over the past 3 years, this man has a whopping total of 3 sacks and a whopping total of 16 games. And this is who the Detroit Lions prioritize over Za'Darius Smith. Played 11-11, 13-13. So I wouldn't be surprised. If he gets to 7 games, I would be surprised. So when you talk about Brad Holmes, his drafting ability is second to none. He really is. I know every GM misses. No GM is perfect. No individual is perfect. I get that. We already had the conversations. He was addressed today about Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin, and he basically took an L. He took an L. He admitted, took an L. Didn't say he was going to stop drafting projects, but he took an L. Everyone takes L's, right? But when it comes to Za'Darius Smith, I told y'all before, y'all acting like you can just go get the guy. Oh, that's all right. We got Big Z. Oh, Big Z's coming back. Oh, we can just go get Za'Darius Smith. You do realize it doesn't work like that. So from what I understand, people have been communicating with me and letting me know that 2 issues with Za'Darius Smith, and I support both of them. One is Za'Darius Smith length of contract. He wants more than a 1-year deal. Now, this has not been confirmed. I've not seen any rumors. This is what I've been told. He wants a more than a 1 year deal. I'm not mad at him. Brad is the king of 1 year. He's the king of one. Usually you have to earn a multi-year deal. Let me ask you a question, guys. Do you think Za'Darius Smith, in his brief time with the Detroit Lions, earned a multi-year deal? All right. Before we go to the second point, Za'Darius Smith, do you realize what our D-line is going to look like next year? Just off to name a few. Levi Onwuzurike, no value this year, not on the team next year, unless he gets re-signed. I think he will. DJ Reader, not on the team next year. Marcus Davenport, not on the team next year. Al-Qadim Muhammad, not on the team next year. Josh Pascal, not on the team next year, unless he's re-signed. All of these people can be re-signed. Our D-line is already thin as far as edge rusher. If we actually looked at the 11 people that we have on our 53-man roster on the D-line, we can look and see, I would say at least half of them are not scheduled to be here next year. You've got Hutch, Aleem McNeil, Tyleek Williams, and after that, can't really name anybody. Okay? As far as I understand it, with Ahmed Hassanin, his rookie contract is void now, if I understand it correctly. He got waived. So all of that 4-year deal and stuff it's like 2 years or something like that. It happened with James Houston. So that's going to be intriguing, right? So maybe he might be under contract next year. I'm not sure about that. But either way, the Detroit Lions are in a sticky situation, and it's going to get a lot more stickier when that money come around. Let's take a look at Za'Darius Smith on the other hand. Za'Darius Smith is actually about to turn 33 years old the day after the Lions' first season week 1 game. 33 years old. Had 22 solo tackles, and over a third of those tackles were sacks in 2020. Now, we just saw Davenport. Take a look. Let's compare. Marcus Davenport, the guy that we prioritized over Za'Darius Smith. Go here, Za'Darius Smith, right? This is in 2 different teams. Let's take a look at his stats. Best year, he is literally, look at the healthiness of Za'Darius Smith. And this is the guy we chose to cut. So check this out. Back then, I think this was the last 17-game season or 16-game season. So he had 3 consecutive 16-game seasons, which is a full season. He missed 2 games here, 3 games here, 1 game his rookie season, right? Go down, got hurt. I think something happened with Green Bay. I think I don't know if he got hurt. It could have been a situation like a disagreement, something like that. I think it was something that his knee was hurt or something like that. Goes to the Minnesota Vikings, plays 16. He missed 1 game with them. Played all but 1 game with the Cleveland Browns, and then was traded at the trade deadline in 2024. Could have played 9 games, or 9 games with us, 9 games with them, for a total of 18. It happened a long time ago with Snacks Harrison with the Detroit Lions. So this is a 17-game season. 17-game season, right? This is Za'Darius Smith. This is what we're dealing with. So he actually missed 1 game per season. Either way, this is who we decided, I'm going to lead us here, right? We decided to cut this man who was under contract for this man. We decided to cut this man who was under contract for this man. I'm going to say it one more time. We decided to cut this man who was under contract for this man, and I'll sweeten the pot, who was not under contract. You know why? Because he was affordable. He wasn't affordable. He was cheap. And that's the boat that we're in. And then to top it off, Brad Holmes says that there's been no recent dialogue with Za'Darius Smith. Now, Brad Holmes has been the master of theatricality and deception as he should be when it comes to a general manager. But one thing he's been transparent about is his dialogue with Za'Darius Smith. He's been very transparent. He was just interviewed by 97 Won a Ticket a couple weeks ago, said that they're still in contact. So what that means is there's been no additional talks between the last time they talked and now, which was unconfirmed really, Because during that interview, he didn't say we just talked to Za'Darius' agent. We talked to him yesterday. We talked to him last week. We're still in contact. We still have dialogue. I could have talked to you 6 months ago. Recent, and we had this discussion about recent. Recent, I'm going to say probably since OTAs, or maybe a little bit after OTAs, during that little break, maybe at the start of training camp. No recent discussions. I have a feeling Za'Darius Smith is not going to return to the Detroit Lions. And I don't blame him. If he doesn't come back, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Between you lost me when you cutting me was one thing. You lost me by re-signing Marcus Davenport. That's when you lost me. Think of it from Za'Darius Smith. Think of this, right? And I said this, and if you have an argument, put it in the comment section. I understand that there's nothing that you can say that would convince me of anything, like anything else. All right? Think about Za'Darius. If I'm Za'Darius Smith, here's what I see. Think about it. Because these guys are human, right? They're human beings. So if I'm Za'Darius Smith, here's what I see. It's a business, but these guys are still human. You sign a guy in Marcus Davenport that is coming off a hurt season. When he came from the Minnesota Vikings, we signed him. You gave him 6.5. I believe it was all guaranteed. I'm not certain about that. So if I'm Za'Darius, I see that, right? Maybe I'm not paying it that much attention. He gets hurt in the third game. Done for the season. That's 2 in a row. Now, the trade deadline comes. The Cleveland Browns are willing to trade me. As a matter of fact, I think they pulled him out of that game right before the trade deadline, and everybody was like, oh, he about to get traded, and then he went back in or something like that. The Detroit Lions traded for me. The general manager of the Detroit Lions, out of his own mouth, says that we traded for the best pass rusher who was available. When you traded for me, you knew what my contract was. You knew I was under contract for this year and under contract for next year, which means I was supposed to be on your team. No extension needed. No dialogue needed. I'm on your team already. You just got to eat the contract. You trade for him, right? You then cut him. Okay, cool. It's a business. You cut me. All right. I don't like it, but I get it. It's part of the business. I'm a veteran. I get it. The first thing you do, I'm being hyperbolic here, you prioritize the same guy that is coming off 2 season-ending injuries over me, who you traded for. You said I was the best available. You knew what you were getting. And I cost and I was productive. You cut me. And here's the icing on the cake. And I keep saying I was already under contract. So to put it in perspective, you cut a guy who was under contract to sign a guy who was not, who was coming off 2 injured seasons. I was more productive than him. So what? I cost more money. My mom always say, you get what you pay for. And we're getting exactly what we paid for in Marcus Davenport. If was a fifth, you all know the rest. Why get an if when we got a for sure in Za'Darius Smith? Oh, that's right. We had, but we decided to cut him. And there's been no recent dialogue. Oh, and Brad Holmes also confirmed, ain't nobody saving that 53rd spot for Za'Darius. It ain't nobody. We went into the season with 53. So you know what? You might as well call DOA. Za'Darius Smith, I think today, confirmed that he's not coming back. That's just my opinion. I've been feeling like this for a while. I don't think he comes back. And I'm going to say something that upsets y'all. I hope he don't. At this point, he might as well go to the Bears. I mean, for real. You had something good. You let it go in favor of something that is not even remotely good. And I'm supposed to feel sorry about that? Go to whoever wants you, because it's obvious the Detroit Lions did not. You can paint it any way you want to. You can paint it. Oh, he cost too much. What do you mean he cost too much money? He was a steal for a pass rusher of his caliber. There's nothing you can say. We had him. We let him go in favor of a guy who is a dog if healthy. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How are you feeling? Do you think that Za'Darius Smith comes back? The biggest draw, if I'm Big Z, is to push my pride aside for sake of my girlfriend, because we back together, right? And my nephew made the team through the practice squad. If I can push my pride to the side, then maybe I'll sign back with the Detroit Lions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You can be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. For my new folks, y'all might be like, who is this guy? For everybody else, you already know what time it is.